So great, here is the puzzle that I left you all with yesterday evening. You have to prove that this whole thing is divisible by 24. So one way, of course, of doing it is to maybe perhaps put numbers, right? So you can put n is equal to 0, in which case this becomes 1 minus 1 plus 1, right? And this is not divisible by 24, but remember they say that n is a positive integer. So if you put n is equal to 1, you have 21 minus 5 plus 8, which is 24. If you put n is equal to 2, you have 441 minus 25 plus 64. Right? So if I find this value out, this is going to be 416 minus 64, which is 48. 400 minus 48. 352 is this? Yeah, we are good. Plus 39. I don't know why I'm subtracting 64. Yeah, so this is 480. So with numbers, you get a sense that this is true, right? But that's not going to work. How will you solve this without numbers? So whenever you have a raised to n minus b raised to n, right, you will always have this to be divisible by a minus b, right? So if I'm looking at n to be any positive integer, which means that n can be odd also and n can be even also, then the only thing I can trust is a raised to n minus b raised to n, because a raised to n plus b raised to n, that is divisible by a plus b only if n is even. So I can't work with this, right? It has to be true for any n. So we can only work with this. Great. Let's pick up the first possibility for a raised to n minus b raised to n. This is divisible by 21 minus 5, right? Which is 16. So we have part of the expression, right? Divisible by 16. And then the other part is also divisible by, if I put n is equal to, this is also divisible by 16, but at least it's definitely divisible by 8. So I have 8 here also, I have 8 here also. That means this whole expression is a multiple of 8. So this is the first part. Okay, it's a multiple of 8. Second possibility of getting a minus b format will be with 8 raised to n minus 5 raised to n. So this is divisible by 8 minus 5, which is 3. Now, if I combine the whole expression, 21 raised to n is divisible by 3. 8 raised to n minus 5 raised to n is divisible by 3. So this whole expression is divisible by 3. And hence, the whole expression is divisible by 8 also, by 3 also. So it becomes divisible by 24, right? Great, guys. Let's move on to some CAT questions on maths. This CAT paper was not that difficult with respect to mathematics, right? So a company has a job to prepare certain number cans, and there are 3 machines for the job. A can complete the job in 3 days, right? So A takes 3 days to complete the job. B takes 4 days. And C takes 6 days. Okay, if all the machines are used simultaneously, how many days will the company take to complete the job? So let the job be a multiple of 3, 4 and 6. Let the job be 12 units. Let the job be 12 units. Okay. So A is doing 4 units a day. B is doing 3 units a day. C is doing 2 units a day. Together, when they all work, they are doing 9 units. Now, if all of them are working and doing 9 units per day, the total work is 12 units. They will finish the work in 12 by 9, which is 4 by 3 days. So answer is option B. If n cube is odd, okay, what is true from these questions, right? So generally they need to mention that n is a natural number or something. Of course, usually n is used for positive integers only, but anyway, they should mention that specifically. So if n cube is odd, that means n itself is odd and n square is also odd, right? So 1 and 2, they both are true, and hence option is C, 1 and 2, right? Great. Next. So this was one of the difficult questions during the CAT paper. You have this production pattern for a week. On the first day, number of units made are 150, on the second day 180, third day 120, so on and so forth. A truck can carry 2000 cubic feet. The hiring cost is 1000, whereas the storing cost is 5 rupees per day. So every day you need to ask yourself, should I hire or should I store? Whenever the storing expense is more than the hiring expense, right, that is when you will hire the truck. So let's see what I mean. On day 1, you have 150 units. What is going to be the storing cost for this? 750. So it makes sense to store it because 1000 hai. So 1000, the hiring a truck is more expensive than storing it, so you'll store it. On the second day, you have totally 330 units because 180 units is added to the 150. Now, abhi iska storing cost is a lot. So you'll hire the truck, okay, and you will ensure that these 330 units are transported. So it's cheaper to hire a truck compared to storing 330 units. So on the second day, definitely, right, if everything has to be sent to the market, second day it makes more sense to hire. Yeah, okay. So what we'll do now is we'll minimize costs. We'll look at these options and we'll see which gives us minimum cost. Okay. So ये first दिन का cost था. Second दिन का cost, actual cost, right, is 1000 rupees. So because the hiring cost is more, we'll just actually 1000 rupees. On third day, and now there's nothing to store. You have only 120 units, so you'll have a cost of 360. 600. On the fourth day, you have 370 units, and hence it is cheaper to hire a truck. On the fifth day, yeah, you have 370 units. On the fifth day, you're back to 0, and you have 800. On the sixth day, you will hire a truck, right? Because you have 280, so you'll have a cost of 1000. And on the seventh day, since you have to send everything to the market, you will hire a truck and send that to the market. So your cost here in this scenario, second, fourth, sixth, and seventh, right, comes to 4000 and 6150. But the thing is that here we are actually forced to use the truck. If anyways we have to send everything to the market, instead of sending truck on 2 consecutive days, why not send the truck here? So then what happens is your cost becomes 1000 here. Correct? This is 700. And then you have 1000 here also. So you are saying instead of having an 8000, 1000, 1000, you're having 1700. 700, right? And in fact, this is not even, in fact, this is not even 280 because they've already sent it off. This is just 120. So this is 600. So definitely you will have savings if you will do the fifth and the seventh day. Right? Because if you anyways have to send everything, why wait? Why have this extra cost of 800 with 160 when you can have a cost of 600 with 120? Okay. So answer is option C. Great. Let's look at the next question. Now the storage cost is reduced to 0.8. Storage cost is now reduced to 0.8. So again, we will just look at what is the kind of cost on a per day basis. 150 units hai. So 0.8 is just 120 rupees. Second day, you have 330. And you should not add it up. On every day, you'll wake up and say what is cheaper, to hire or to store. Correct? So 330 into 8, 33 into 8 is 264 rupees. Okay, third day you have 450 and this is 360 rupees. On the fourth day you have 700 and this is 560 rupees. On the fifth day you have 860 and 860 into 0.8 is 688. And on the sixth day you have 980. Right, so again this is 90, it's a perfect square, right? 49 into 16, 784, 28 square. And 7, now you have 1130. Again this is less, right? When you multiply this by 8, you get 8904, right? Yeah. So you would not hire the truck till the end, but you have to send everything to the market. So on the 7th day, you'll send everything to the market. Okay. Great, guys. Let's move on to the next question. Fifth question. One bacterium split into 8 bacteria of the next generation. But due to environmental condition, that 8 bacteria में से आधे मर जाते हैं and you are left only with 4 bacteria. So basically, one bacteria becomes 4 bacteria in one generation movement. So starting from the first generation, 1, right? In the second generation, you will have 4, right? In the third generation, you will have 16, 4 into 4. In the fourth generation, you will have 64, right? So in the nth generation, you will have 4 raised to n minus 1 because you start with 1. So this is what you need to solve, right? That 4 raised to n minus 1 into the beginning quantity k, right, is equal to 4096. And since it is the 7th generation, your n is 7, you're basically looking at 4 raised to 6 is equal to 4096 and hence k is equal to 1, right? Because 4 raised to 6 itself is 4096. So k is equal to 1 million. Answer is option A. Great. Sixth question. 3 circles of radius 20 each have centers at PQR. You need to find, so they all are radius 20. AB ka length is given as 5, CD is 10, EF is 12. You have to find the perimeter of this triangle. So if these circles were just touching each other from outside, something like this, excuse the geometry. Okay, let's say if you had something like this, then the answer would have been 60, 820, 820, 820. Answer would have been 40 for each side and 120 for the total. Answer would have been 120. But they are not touching from outside. They are intersecting. So when I am actually doing a PE, right, if I am looking at length PQ, PQ is PE, which is 20, plus QF, which is another 20. And EF I'm counting twice, so I have to do minus EF. Because this length I'm counting twice. So hence PQ ka length will be 40 minus 12, which is 28. So individually you could find each of these, right, very easily like this, that QR is equal to 40 minus 10, which is 30, and PR is equal to 40 minus 5, which is 35. So individually you could do all this, or you could straight away just subtract these 3 numbers from 120. 5, 10 and 12, which is 27. So answer is 93. Questions 7 and 8. are defined for real numbers. A hash B is A plus B if both are positive, else it will give you 1. And A triangle B is this if the product is positive, else it is 1. So let's start off with 2 hash 1. 2 hash 1 में दोनों positive है, so I'll do A plus B, so I get 3. 1 triangle 2 में product is positive, correct? So it is 2 raised to 3, which is 8. So I get 3 by 8. So this is not a problem. Okay, great. Now we will solve this part. So hash, again the sum is positive, both A and B are positive, sorry. So this is 2 and 2 hash 2 will be 4. So ये हो गया 4. Now coming back to this, log of .1 to the base 10. What is that? Log of 0.1 to the base 10, guys, is -1. This is basically log of 1 by 10 to the base 10, right? That is 0.1. And what is 1 by 10? It is 10 raised to -1. So iska answer will be -1. Okay. So yeah, I know this will be tough to solve, and it is not 10 raised to 1.3 is not 13. Okay. But the thing is, you don't need to solve it because A into B is not positive now. This number is a positive number. This number is a negative number. So since A into B is now negative, this will evaluate to 1. So your numerator becomes 4 minus 1. Okay. Now I just need to find the denominator. So ये तो हमने already find out कर दिया है. 1 triangle 2, that is 8. So it's going to be 4 minus 1 divided by 8. It's 3 by 8. Right? Great. Let's look at the last question on this. Which of the following must be true? Okay, if this is 3 by 8, right? So the thing is that if one of these turns out to be 1, now, then I will not have 3 by 8. See, this is A plus B, this is A into B, correct? So if I have got 3 by 8, that means X and Y are both positive. Okay. And X into Y hence will also automatically be positive. Now if X, Y are both positive, right, that means ये अभी यहाँ coming back to this, X is positive and Y is negative, then only X and minus Y will be positive. So ये option तो गया और ये option भी गया. Okay. And now in the denominator, the product has to be positive. So minus X into Y. If Y is negative, minus X into Y will be positive. So this is what works. So you're looking at option B. Right? Great. Let's move on. BE square is MPB. So the square of a 2-digit number, right? BE is a 2-digit number. Iska square is a 3-digit number. Now what is the highest 3-digit perfect square? It's 961. So your BE ka range, right? BE ka range is from 100, right? Square ka range, sorry, is from 100 to 961. So B can take values 1, 2 or 3. Right? Because if the square is like this, the root will be 10 to 31. But B is the units place of a perfect square, right? B is the units place of a perfect square. If B is the units place of a perfect square, then B cannot end in 2 or 3, hence B has to be 1. So now our equation works out to 1 E square is MP1. Now if the square ends in 1, the root can end in 1 or it can end in 9. I know that the digits are distinct, so ये तो possible नहीं है. And if you check out, this is your answer. You have all 4 digits are distinct integers. And hence m is 3. You get a unique solution and m is 3. Great. Next question. 5-digit numbers are formed using only all this exactly once. What is the difference between maximum and minimum? So maximum बनेगा ये number और minimum बनेगा ये number. So when I find the difference, this is 6, this is 7, this is 9, this is 2, and this is 3. So answer is option C. How many numbers can be formed? Right? With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without repetition, digit is greater than that in the tens place. So, if the digit is in the units place, right, cannot be 1 because it is greater than the tens place and there is no repetition, right? So the digit in the units place, let us say if that is 2, okay, then your tens can only be 1 and the remaining 3 digits can be filled in 6 factorial ways. If the digit in the units place is 3, then the digit in the tens place can be 1 or 2 and the remaining, so there are 2 ways to fill this and the remaining can be filled in 6 factorial, 6 ways, not 6 factorial ways, 3 into 2 into 1. So here you will have 12 ways of filling it up. Okay, this is 6 ways and that's 12 ways. What if this is 4? Then this can be filled in 3 ways, again 6 ways here, so you'll get 18 ways. And finally, what if it's 5? Then of course there are 24 ways, there's no constraint, यहाँ जो भी होगा इससे छोटा होगा. So 24 ways and the total hence is 60 ways. So this is one way of doing it. A far easier way, more intuitive way is, okay, if there were no constraints whatsoever, how many numbers can I make without repetition with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5? The first digit can be chosen in 5 ways, second in 4 ways, right? I can make 120 numbers. Now in these 120 numbers, because there is no repetition, right? Half of them exactly will have the units more than tens and the other half will have 10 more than units. और इसमें zero भी नहीं है, see ये zero और ये सब चीजें, but this is very peaceful. So exactly half will have units more, exactly half will have tens more. So straight away the answer is 60, right? This is a better method, guys, more intuitive as well. Okay, great. Next bunch. Distance between A and B is 72 kilometers. 2 men started, one from A, one from B. So the A guy is always covering 4 kilometers. Okay, and the B guy is covering 2 kilometers, then 2.5, then 3.5, then 3, then 3.5 and so on. Okay, so one way to solve it is to see this as an arithmetic progression. Okay, in the first hour, the 2 people, A and B, cover 4 plus 2, 6 kilometers. In the second hour, they cover 6.5. In the third hour, they cover 7, right? So you have an arithmetic progression with the first term 6, right? Common difference of 0.5. And now you just have to find out, right, that when will the sum become 72? Correct? So you will have the number of terms n by 2, right? And say 2a, so that's 12 plus n minus 1 into 0.5 divided by 2. So you need to solve this end to end. Correct? Let's not do that. The other is you can substitute. So in 7 hours, A will cover 28 kilometers. Okay. B का 2 है, 2.5, 3 है, 3.5. This is the fourth term. So in 7 hours, this is the average. The fourth term will be the average. So B will cover 3.5 into 7, which is 24.5. So they are not going to meet. So ये गया. Right? This is faster than actually working with a quadratic equation, guys. You'll get a quadratic equation there. Next, you just try for 10. So this guy covers 40 kilometers. ऑलरेडी वी नो फोर्थ टर्म ये है, फिफ्थ टर्म एंड 4.5 ये इसके बीच में होगा 4.25 into 10. This is what is covered, which is of course, so this is exceeding 72. तो 10 hours भी नहीं होगा. But you can see कि from 7 to 10 वो exceed हुआ है. What if you work with 9 hours? So this guy covers 36. इसका बीच वाला number is 4 and this guy also covers 36. So they meet midway between A and B. Okay? Right? Great, guys. 14th question. You have 4 statements. Relation between these statements is given as if P is true, then Q must be true. If Q is true, R must be true. And if S is true, then either Q is false or R is false. Okay, so generally we have done these questions when we were doing DI also in formal logic, that iska negation kya hai. If P is true, then Q must be true. So there are two things here, okay? P true, Q true. If Q is false, then P is false. You can't say that if P is false, Q is false. It's always the reverse in negation. Okay, so let's start off with the statements. If P is true, then S is false. Which is true, right? कि P अगर true है तो Q true होगा, right? Q has to be true. Q true है तो R must be true. Now अगर Q और R दोनों true है तो this statement becomes false, and if this statement becomes false, then S also must be false. So option A is the right option. Yeah. Oh, this was a complicated question. This was another. Abhi tak we have done a lot of easy questions in this CAT paper, but this was a little difficult. ये है 10 centimeters, right? This is 10 centimeters. This is 30 degrees. Now the cow is here. The cow can graze anywhere across this circle, but not inside. So if the cow could graze the whole circle, the cow would be able to graze 8, right? 8 is the length of the rope here. The cow would be able to graze 64.5. But because 30 degrees is left out, 30 degrees over 360 degrees, 1/12 is left out. The cow can only graze 11/12. Right? So if you see options here, it's only option D. Correct? If you, this is 3 za and this is 16 za, so 176 pi by 3. So 65 is still okay. It's very peaceful to solve. The next one that can be grazed by the cow if the length of the rope is 12 meters. This is where it gets complicated. So if we just look at how the length of the rope will change things, let me just get rid of everything. Yeah. Now the length of the rope is more than the side of the triangle, which means that once the cow reaches here while grazing, okay, तो 10 मीटर उसका यूज हो गया है, उसके पास और 2 मीटर है तो यहाँ तक वो ग्रेस कर सकता है. So it's, this circle is not, it's going to look like this. So this is a horrible diagram. I have got another, I've got the diagram here. Correct? So the cow is going to be able to graze a little bit more. So let's see how we can find these things. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अगर वो पूरा 10 का पूरा वो ग्रेस कर पाता तो आंसर वुड हैव बीन 100 pi, right? But you have to see this not as 10, you have to see this as 12. कि अगर वो 12 का पूरा ग्रेस कर पाता, ये 12 है, तो आंसर वुड हैव बीन 144 pi. But ये 30 degrees cannot be graced, so answer will be 184 pi into 11 by 12, it will be 132 pi. But he can also grace a little bit extra here, and hence the answer will be a little more than 132 pi. This goes off, this goes off, this is anyways too small, so answer is A. Let's see how we can find this exactly. Okay, so let me just clean this a little bit and let's see if we can find this exactly. It's not very difficult to find. Okay, how much extra can he grace? Now this is 30 degrees and these are equal sides, तो ये angle होगा 75 और ये angle होगा 75. ये straight line है, that means this angle inside वाला angle is 105. So the extra that he can grace, right, the cow can grace is, if I draw this straight line, correct, and I drop this here, then this is central angle 105. So if I now draw a semicircle, right, of with radius 2 or a full circle with radius 2, तो वो 4 pi होता उसका एरिया, पर वो 4 pi पूरा नहीं कर रहा है, वो 105 is the only thing it can do out of 360, and there are two such circles, we'll multiply by 2. So now we have to do the cancellations. So this is 15 into 7 and this is 15 into 24, right? And we have 8, so 3. This goes off. So we have 7 pi by 3 extra. Yeah. So this is 7 pi by 6 extra. I don't know why. It should clearly be 7 pi by 3. Anyway, so this must be one problem with the CAT options, because this is clearly 105 and this 105 you'll have to double it because it's on both the sides. Radius is 2, so that's not a problem. So there's no real problem here. So answer will be 132 plus 7 pi by 3, which is 134, 1 by 3 pi. Yeah, great. 17 to 19. A, B, C, D are to be seated in a row, but C and D cannot be together. Also, B cannot be at the third place. So, C and D cannot be together. Let's look at all possible cases. C and D are ekdam alag-alag. Of course, you know, there is always this possibility also. B cannot be at the third place. So, this is how, this is one possibility. The other is that C and D are separated by only 1. Or you have so these are the basic 6 possibilities. यहाँ पे A and B can be interchanged because third place is taken up, right? Whereas here it has to be A here, B here, A here and B here. So totally, in fact, if I had to find the number of ways, it's 8 ways in which they can be seated. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. So which of the following must be false? So in none of these cases, right, is A at the first place. If you see, यहाँ पे नहीं है, यहाँ पे नहीं है. A is never at the first place. A can be at the second place. यहाँ पे A can be at the third place here. A can be at the fourth place here, but A is never at the first place. So this is false. If A is not at the third place, that means we are looking at these possibilities. Then which of the following options does C have? C can be in the first place or the third place only. Right? Answer is option C. If A and B are together, then which of the following must necessarily be true? Then we are looking at only these two options. So C is not at the first place. नहीं, C और D कोई भी हो सकता है first place पे. A is at the third place. Yes, this has to be true because B cannot be at the third place, right? So answer here is option B. Great. Next. A yearly payment to the servant is rupees 90 plus 1 turban. The servant leaves the job after 9 months and receives 65 and a turban. So the salary for 12 months was 90 plus turban. For 9 months out of 12, for the full year it was 90 plus turban, it is 65 plus turban. So you can now solve this. Yeah, 9 by 12 of this, right, is 65 plus T. So you can solve this, but let's look at a better way of solving. The reason I'm like writing this equation wrong is because I've never solved it like this. A better way of solving it, guys, is to say, okay, when I didn't work for 3 months, when the servant didn't work for 3 months, the servant lost out on what? He lost out on 25 rupees. So for the full year, his payment must have been, for the 12 months, his payment must have been 100 rupees, which is 90 plus turban. So what is the turban? It is 10, right? Great. 4 identical coins are placed in a square. For each coin, the ratio of area to circumference is same as the ratio of circumference to area. If A by B is the same as B by A, that only happens, and they are both positive, right? Circumference and area are positive. That only happens if they are equal. So basically 2 pi r is equal to pi r square, which means r is 2. Right? So the r यहाँ पे, the coin का r is 2. So the side of the square is 8. Correct? This is 4, this is 4, the side of the square is 8. So the area of the square is 64, which is 8 square, and the area of the 4 coins, each of the coin has radius 2, so area of one coin is 4 pi, and 4 coins is 4 into 4 pi, which is 16 pi. So I can remove 16 common and I am left with 4 minus pi. Right? So answer is option C. 3 wheels can complete 60, 36 and 24 revolutions per minute. जो 60 revolutions कर रहा है per minute, वो एक revolution 1 minute में कर रहा है. So every minute उसका red dot is touching the ground, red spot. जो 36 revolutions कर रहा है, right, per minute, that person is doing one revolution in 3 by 5 of a minute. And the one who's doing 24, that is 2 by 5 a minute. So if I want all of them to touch the ground simultaneously, it is going to be the LCM of 1, 3 by 5 and 2 by 5, which is 6 by 1. So they will meet every 6 seconds. Right? Great. Let's look at some CET level questions. As I said, the bonus questions today, the focus is on CET. So let's look at first question. 2m plus k is 12 and k is 10. What is the value of m? So 2m plus 10 is 12 and hence m is 1. right? CET has 5 options, guys. The average arithmetic mean of 3 numbers is 50. If 2 of the numbers are 35 and 50, तो अगर mean 50 है तो sum is 150, correct? जिसमें से 35 50 है, so the third number is going to be 65. In the correctly worked addition problem above, each A represents the same digit. What is the value of A? So यहाँ पे if you see, guys, there's definitely going to be some carryover. Okay, so either 3A plus 2 plus a carryover of 1 हो सकता है. That can be 15, in which case A is 4, which works. या carryover of 2 हो सकता है, but that will give us fractional answers. So A is equal to 4. If you check with 4, right, you will get 7 here, and you can straight away see the 7 happening. Right? What number is the same percent of 225, right, as 9 is of 25? So 9 और 25 का जो relationship है, 225, sorry, what number will have the same relationship or with 225? तो ये 9 है, तो इसको भी 9 करना है. So that number is going to be 81. 2 raised to x minus 1 is 32. What is the value of x? So basically 2 raised to 5 we know is 32. Hence 2 raised to x minus 1 can be compared to 2 raised to 5. X minus 1 is 5. So x is equal to 6. Voting results for referendum. Men total, right? Yes, no है और इसका total है. So there are 137 votes, some of which were men, some of which were women. Some were yes, some were no. So let's try and fill this table up, okay? Totally there were 159 yes. तो कितने no होंगे? So we can subtract 60 and add 1, so 78 no होंगे. Right? अगर women are 76, तो men कितने होंगे? तो they will be 61. And now we can fill up everything. 26 men है, so there will be 35. 26 yes men है, तो 35 no men होंगे, तो 61 का sum होगा, right? And this is going to be 43. Then only the total will be 78. And this number we can find with 76 or with 59 in place. Whatever be the answer, it is 33. So how many women on the commission voted no? So 43 voted no. Yeah. Kenny and Mike each begin with the same number of baseball cards. After Mike gives Kenny 12 cards, Kenny has twice as many as Mike. How many cards do they have altogether? So they each begin with the same number of cards. Then Mike gives Kenny 12 cards. So ये x plus 12 हो गया and ये x हो गया. X minus 12 हो गया. That means the gap between them now is 24. This 24 is what leads to 2:1. So this must be 48 and this must be 24, right? And how much do they have altogether? 72. So I hope this is one very quick way of solving with ratios. You could also do this like this, that x plus 12 is double of x minus 12. But यहाँ पे plus 12 है, यहाँ पे minus 12 है, तो gap 24 का है and 2:1 के ratio में gap 1 का है, so multiplier is 24. A bag of Texas Tilly's Trail mix contains X ounces of walnuts, 15 ounces of peanuts, and 20 ounces of pecans. Which of the following gives the fraction of the mix that is walnuts? So total कितना है walnuts? Total mix कितने का है? It is X plus 15 plus 20. It is X plus 35. उसमें से walnuts कितना fraction है? So that is X. So answer is going to be X over X plus 35. In the diagram above, L and M are parallel. Which of the following is equivalent to A plus D and F plus G. So F is the same as B because of corresponding angles, and G is the same as C because again corresponding angles. Okay, so I can rewrite this expression as A plus D plus B plus C, which is angles around a point, and they will all add up to 360 degrees. So you can check which of these add up to 360 degrees, right? Or you can actually now just see whether some of these things could be substituted. So 2C plus 2F. Okay. Now 2C means C plus G and 2F is B plus F. I'm missing out on E and H, right? So this is going to be tough. What about B plus C plus E plus H? So B plus C and E plus H. I can write E as A and H as D. And hence this term also becomes A plus D plus B plus C. तो ये थोड़ा मुश्किल था, पर आंसर इज ऑप्शन बी. 10th question. For which of the following ordered pairs is 2x plus 3y greater than 6 and x minus y is greater than 6? So first we'll check for x minus y, that's easier to check. So this works. This is equal to 6, so this does not work. 4 plus 3 works. 3 minus 3 does not work. And minus 3 minus 4 does not work. So we have only two options. Now we'll substitute 2x plus 3y. So I get 14 minus 3, which is greater than 6. But 4 minus 3, if I check, 8 minus 9, right? It does not work. So answer is option A. When n is divided by 12, the remainder is 6. So n basically is a multiple of 12 plus 6. What is the remainder when n is divided by 6? तो यहाँ तो 0 आएगा remainder, यहाँ पे भी 0 आएगा. Basically this means it's a multiple of 6. Right? That is what it means. So 0 आएगा. The figure above shows a polygon with 5 sides. What is the average of the measures and degrees of the 5 angles shown? तो ये है एक एंगल, ये दूसरा, ये तीसरा, right? 4 and this is the 5th angle. So I want to find the sum of all these 5 angles, right? So one way of doing it is to just drop a line. Now this is a triangle with 180 degrees as the sum of these 3 angles. Let's say A, B, C, D and E. So ABE is 180 degrees and EBCD is 360 degrees. So if I add the two of them, that will work out to 540 degrees. And then if I divide them by 5, each of the angles is 108 degrees. At a pet store, if D represents the number of dogs and C represents the number of cats, then which of the following is equivalent to the statement the number of dogs, which is D, right, is 3 fewer than 4 times the number of cats. 4 times the number of cats minus 3, right? So answer is option D. A $50,000 prize is divided among 4 winners in a ratio of 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Overall, this is 10 ka ratio, right? So you divide all of these by 10 and multiply. Greatest any winner receives is 4. So that is $5,000 into 4, $20,000. In the figure above, if PR is equal to RS, so this is also 6, so this is also 30 and this is 120. If I drop a perpendicular, I have two triangles that are 30, 60, 90. Where the hypotenuse, right? Side opposite 90 is 6. So the side opposite 30 is going to be half. So the side opposite 30 is 3. Height is 3. Side opposite 60 will be root 3 times the side opposite 30. So it's 3 root 3. So PS will hence be, ये 3 root 3 है, ये भी 3 root 3 है. So PS will be 6 root 3. So now we can find the area of the triangle. It is going to be half into height of 3 into 6 root 3. So that is 9 root 3. 16th. A certain class has 6 girls and 5 boys. 4 of these students are to line up in the front room with 2 girls on either end and 2 boys in between. How many such arrangements are possible? So girl, boy, boy, girl. So out of the 6 girls, I first need to select 2 girls that will come here. That can be selected in 62 ways, which is 15 ways. Then I will arrange them in either end. That they can be arranged in 2 ways. So girls can be arranged in 30 ways. The answer has to be a multiple of 30. Now boys. Boys तो वैसे भी कम है. So answer should be less than 900. But anyway, now we'll first select the 2 boys that they can be selected in 5C2 ways, which is 10 ways. Arrange them, so that's 20 ways. So total ways is 30 into 20, which is 600 ways. Answer is option E. A jar contains only red, white and blue marbles. It contains twice as many red marbles as white marbles. Okay, so अगर white, red or blue है, correct? So if white is 1, red are 2. And 3 times as many white marbles as blue marbles. So now we'll rewrite this. Okay, blue is 1, white is 3 and red is hence 6. If a marble is drawn at random, what's the probability that it is white? So I have 10 marbles out of which 3 are white. So probability is going to be 3 by 10. For all non-zero integers a and b, let this symbol denote a square by b square. If this is 9, which of the following must be true? So this means that m square by n square is equal to 9. So m square is equal to 9 into n square. Right? Does this mean m is greater than n? They are non-zero integers, so m can be negative also. So for example, right, m can be minus 3, n can be plus 1, and this equation will be true. So m need not be greater than n, 1 need not be true. So obviously 2 has to be true. We can see it here. I get n square. This is the same as the original. So 2 has to be true. If m and n are integers, right, where m square is equal to 9n square, that means m is equal to plus minus 3n. So I can replace plus minus 3n over 3n and I will definitely get an integer. So 3 also has to be true. So answer is option C. Right? Great. 19 and 20. A rectangular solid is A centimeters long, B centimeters wide and C centimeters high. Its volume is V. So what is V? It is A into B into C. And its surface area is S. So what is the surface area, guys? Surface area is the area of all the six faces, right? So surface area is twice of AB plus BC plus AC. If A, B, C, B and S, all of these are integers and V is odd, which of the following must be true? V is odd, that means each of them, A is odd, B is odd, C is odd, because all of them are integers, right? And V is also odd. Now in this, okay, if all three are odd, then each of these terms is odd. But S is even because it is 2s. So S is definitely even, and hence 3 is true. So I can eliminate this option and that option. A, B, C each are odd, so the sum also has to be odd. So 1 is also true. And ABC is equal to B, so B must be equal to A will be equal to B over BC. So all three are true. In the figure above, if M is parallel to L, what is the area of the shaded rectangle? Okay, so now to find the area of the shaded rectangle, I need to find out the height and the width of the rectangle. Now this point is k comma 0 and this point is 0 comma 12. So ये height we know 12 है because 0 becomes 12. For this k we are trying to find out. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is find the slope of this line. So what is the slope? Slope is change in y over change in x. Right? So 0 minus of minus 9, which is the y ka change, over 12 minus 0. So the slope is 3 by 4. तो इसका भी slope 3 by 4 होगा. That means y changes 3 by 4 of x. Right? Hence, if y has changed by 12, from 0 comma 0 it has become 12 comma 0, x must have changed by 16. So k is hence 16 and the area is 16 into 12, which is 192. This one was a little tricky. A lot of students would have marked 9 into 12 also, which 108 is there in your option. Great, guys. So here is your bonus puzzle. You know that a and b are positive integers and the difference between these expressions is prime. You have to find the value of a and b.